Hey, welcome back to Al's Canoe Kalamazoo. I'm Brian, and we've just hit a major milestone in our latest canoe build. Episode 7 is all about strips on frames. I'm really excited to show everybody the progress that we've made so far. Got some snow on the ground here, as you can see. It's melting fast, but the real winter is just around the corner. It's going to make for some cold work in the garage. But in the meantime, let's go take a look at where we're at so far. I'm doing kind of a combination of stapling and clamping. You can see I've got all of these kind of wooden C blocks that are clamped on with a couple different styles of clamps. I got these C clamps, and then I'm using a few spring clamps as well. But basically I'm just using these to pull the strip up against the form nice and tight. And then I'm guiding all of these first ones to my black line that's running at that widest point on every single one of these frames. Same line that I used to set up the frames for alignment. So on the center one, I'm going to need to cut just a little bit of the bottom off to get rid of the bead. Remember, all of these still have a bead on the bottom, so it's important that I position the strip a little bit below this bottom edge so I have something to cut to. So if you're curious, here's my stapler setup. It's just an arrow stapler with this T50 style staple. I'm using the 12mm ones. Actually bought this for a different project and I had a lot of 6mm staples, but they didn't go all the way through the strips, so I had to go out and buy some 12s. And I did do some practice stapling on some of these scrap strips. And it works pretty well. They seem to dig down without actually putting like a dent in the strips. We'll see how it goes with these walnuts. The staples don't want to go in so clean on the walnut, but it digs in deep enough that it'll hold it in place. So, should get the job done. Well, I'd say I got it pretty well on target. Middle of the strip, middle of the form. Now I can take all this clamping off. Okay, so here's staple 1, staple 2, staple 3, staple 4. Starting to see the gap over on this side. There's a little space because these boards are cut square. And I move to this next one, a little more of an angle. I still put one more staple in, but I think I'm going to stop there. The next board's at quite a bit of an angle to the strip, so I don't really want to try stapling through that open space. I'll probably just leave these clamped up and then do a glue up over on this end. Okay, my first 2 strips are stapled on and glued to the stems, one on either side of the boat. What I'm going to try next is to glue up one more strip on top of this one. I have a few little pieces with a cove already cut into them, or a bead, excuse me. I'm just going to put these little pieces on top and then put my little C clamps applying pressure onto that, and then hopefully it won't damage the cove on the top of the strip. Well, most of this process is very awkward, and I'm sure all my mistakes will become very clear once I start taking this stuff off of here. And maybe we'll make some changes for the next one, we'll see. But for now, got one glued. I wanted to show the scarf joint here on the two pieces of walnut, but unfortunately it's kind of just out of frame. The two pieces are glued to the bottom strip and end to end with a small piece of wood with a bead on it taped over the top to help with alignment. I also expected Al here this afternoon for this first walnut strip, but something must have held him up. Wanted to wait, but I didn't want to wait another day to get this strip on there, so I just glued it up before bed. Alright, we got walnut number one. We ended up with a little bit of a gap here, but with some more practice, as well as clamping small pieces of wood to either side of the joint, we got a little better results. Just to catch up a little bit, this is my scarfing jig, so it's just a narrow track to put the strip into, and then it's got a diagonal cut through it, I just did on my table saw. So that's kind of like a guide for my handsaw to go in and cut that angle. It's not really critical what angle it is, it just matters that all your cuts are the same angle so that they match end to end. Well, that will do it for today. Let us know what you think in the comments. Make sure you subscribe and catch the next episode where we'll continue up and down the sides. We didn't get Al over here this time, but there's a lot left to do. Thanks so much for joining. We'll see you next time.